Did I do it? Are we live? Can you hear me? Please? Say something. What up, y'all? Everyone can hear me? There is a lot. Okay, wonderful. Idiot Painter, thank you for the sub before stream. Appreciate that. The exposure's a little shat. Let me just make that significantly worse. Okay, I had a feeling that was a problem. Yeah, all right, that should be better. There we go. Audio, Mark, don't say that, because then I think is there a problem? Is there a problem with the audio? I listened to it beforehand. It sounded all good. I'm alone. There's no Evan. Just wanted to make sure that everything was looking okay. Markitect, Rolls Royce. Thank you for the subs. Wait, you in the old dungeon or the office? We're in the office. Definitely wouldn't move the setup. I got everything how I like it here. So I just wanted to just keep it simple. Yeah, keep it simple as in not move things around. Scott, I'm flying to Minnesota on the 3rd of March. Do you want to go to a hockey game with me? My treat. Probably not. Appreciate the invite. We'll, never say never, but I'll probably be busy. Okay, I'm gonna turn my phone off or else it's gonna drain my whole battery. Duggins, thank you for the sub, by the way, Evil Eric DM. What up, Doug's Minis? Today we're gonna paint a Cawdor model that you've seen me paint the past couple of days. We'll get him finished up. Need to do some rope work. Got to do some skin work. A couple other things. But he's mostly done. And then if you finish him before the stream ends, which I'm not going to commit to because I've surprised myself with how little progress I can make in the past. And I know better now. But if we do, I'll start assembling the rest of my gang just because I need some more models. Afterthought, 2 years and I get a chair cam. Yeah, well, that'd be a sad chair cam, but sure. Haven't had any hobby time in a while, but I have some gifts planned out that will be some mini painting. Okay, it's painting some models. That's very cool. That's very cool. Good way to get you motivated to paint is by creating commitments. That's like a great way to get yourself to paint a model for, really anything. For games, you could schedule a game, a tournament helps out a lot, gifts help out a lot. Digital Soul, thanks for the sub, appreciate it, y'all. No, I meant I came here just, oh, okay, I got you, yeah. My bad. What's the crispy bev today? Diet Dr. Pepper. Painting my friend's pets for some D&D mini adventuring animals. Oh, cool. Are you painting those Dungeons and Doggos or the cat one? That's a cool set. All right. Let's just get after it. No mail time today. I didn't get sent anything. How good are they? How good are they? All right. I think I pushed this. What's this button? This is the button I push. Hey! Look at me go. Change where the painting camera was compared to last time. I mean, admittedly, the camera is always changing. But it was getting a little too intrusive last time. Still some palette paralysis for my Gene Stealer Colts. Got to narrow down, but need to put some paint on models and actually test it. Yeah, you can only do so much figuring out and thinking before you really kind of just like try something out, likely fail and mess up. I've done that plenty of times, and then try to make some changes. Like you might not know how to solve your problems immediately, and this is generic advice. You have an issue, you don't know how to solve it. Typically with artistic things, there's never a right answer. And so you need to try things out and then observe. Do I like it more now? Do I like it less now? Make some assumptions. Why do I like it less now? Okay, I'm gonna avoid doing a thing that causes that to happen. Say you use blue and you don't like it. The answer maybe isn't necessarily that you don't like blue. Thanks for the bits, Sharp Desmoka. But the answer might be that maybe you use too much blue. So maybe if you use a small amount of blue, then that's your issue. You know, there's a lot of reasons why visually you might not like something, and it's worth, you know, spending some effort and time thinking about it, trying things out, making observations, and going from there. I 3D printed a Craig bust on your texture video. Oh, nice. It's my first bust I've ever painted, and I'm really enjoying it. It helps to have a tutorial to follow. I'm glad. You know, I just love chatting, guys. You know, you know this. One of these days, I would love to do this, where we have like a paint along day, where like we schedule something like, you know, a month out, and we're gonna all paint the same model, and everyone, you know, comes in for the however many streams it'll take, you know, 4 or 5 streams, depending how big the model is and how detailed it is, really. And then we just paint it together. You know, we paint the metals and the skin on day 1. We paint the cloth and the leather on day 2, and then we do the basing on day 3. We can all have a finished model by the end of it. I think that'd be so much fun to try that out. I'd love to do that. I rewatched an old video of yours earlier, and you did an epic zoom past your in-frame head before some painting B-roll. Oh, yeah, it might be with the Rhino slider and my probe lens. Or maybe you're talking about, was it a visual effect or was it a physical or practical effect? I vote we paint the Duchess. I was figuring we'd paint a 32 millimeter model just because that's a little bit more accessible. But I mean, there's no reason why we couldn't do it multiple times, you know. Hey bro, I noticed you've been loving Shadowpoint. When was the last time you played MCP? The last time I played MCP was on stream. So maybe a year ago, maybe 8 months ago, a long time ago. I played the game 1 time. Well, like played it 2 times. Once at a store and then once on my stream. The Commanjo, I like that name. Thanks for the sub. Reaper rating with the party of 31. Thank you, Reaper. I appreciate your guys' support of my stream with the raids. It really helps out. Thank you so much. Is the Duchess going to get restocked? Yeah, I definitely will. Just not at the moment. Have other things going on. But that is definitely in the cards for sure. One thing that's always hard to accept, you can always strip the paint and start over. Yeah, that's true. That's true. How about Daddy? Let's go. Thanks for the sub. Appreciate it, y'all. It's such a great game. I got like 6 games in over the holidays. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that, dude. I think my biggest hang up with MCP is just that I'm not like super into Marvel. And like my hipster attitude toward like the Marvel movies being incredibly popular and successful makes me like hate them even more. You know, I can't like popular things, mainstream things. That's mostly a joke, but I can't deny the effect that is having on me. But I also never been one for comic books and superheroes. I've read a very small amount of comics. Mostly it's just vampire themed ones. So like American Vampire, Rednecks, Morbius, stuff like that. I just watched Morbius again recently. My wife got me this beautiful Blu-ray Steelbook for my birthday, because I asked for it, of course. And I rewatched it. And man, that movie has potential. It has potential, but it really is squandered out of, I feel like they wasted a lot of their like budget on just superfluous visual effects. Anyways, we don't need to get into that. Evil Harry DM is a fucking homie. He asks to go to a hockey game. I sadly turn him down, and then he gives me 10 gifted subs. My brother, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Please never do a Temu video like John. You know, I never like to copy other people's videos. I like to do different things. And furthermore, that kind of video just is not my style. I don't like to. I mean, it's a good video. It's nothing wrong with that as an idea, but I'm not into it. Morbius is worth a Blu-ray, but Hellraiser is crap. Dude, okay, it's not a good movie. It's not Morbius is not a good movie, but I love vampires. And yes, it is Blu-ray worthy. The Temu complaint thread in the top Facebook was outright hilarious. Some really hot takes. I don't hate Hellraiser, but for how much of a cult hit that movie is, boy, is it a disappointing film. It is not good. We need more kit bashing vids, homie. I agree with that. I think what we really need right now is just me painting a model. I think we're getting a little too far away from that. So I think I'm gonna take a couple steps back here and just start painting some more minis. Yeah, sure, it's okay. I think that you could say it's okay, but it's like, you know, it's kind of boring, it's kind of slow, it doesn't really maintain your interest very well. Not a lot really happens in it, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, but I remember not enjoying it very much. Morbin time, Scott. Who can eat more tendies, Scott or John? Ooh, an eating competition. I'm not so sure. I don't think we've ever done one of those. This is what we expected with no one to keep you on track. Okay, yeah, let's. I just want to read what you guys are saying and chat with you, but we got to paint some stuff at some point. We need you painting up wood elves for the old world and talking about how people don't need to rebase everything since movement trays can do that for you. Okay, question about that. I have my wood elves on 30 mil rounds, 28 mil rounds at the moment. And I believe the old world got bumped up in their squares. So the standard infantry used to be on a 20 mil square, it is now a 25 mil square. So wouldn't that mean I would need to rebase? Because the diameter is larger than the smallest, than the square that I need. And a movement tray would then end up being larger than it should be. Am I overthinking this? Same with the original Ghost in the Shell film. Yeah, that was an okay movie. You mean like the newer one? How original trailer scared the shit out of me, but I couldn't stop laughing while watching the movies. Oh, if you have to go down in size, then yeah, you need to rebase. Well, I think that's the thing, is that anyone who rebased their models for AOS is probably using a minimum. Oh, you're saying if they are on the old square bases, they don't need to rebase to square. They can just have a, okay, I got you. But if you're a chump like me who rebased your stuff for AOS, then you're fucked. Sag. Yeah, you're right. Okay, now I get what you're saying. All right. So let's just talk about what the plan is. Probably gonna do the skin first, because the skin is under 17,000 arm wraps, because that is good sculpting. I'm joking. Because then I can make a bunch of mistakes with over brushing, and then I can paint the straps second and clean up mistakes. That's a plan. These little shin things, they have these shin things. This kind of like bumpy material is very hard to paint. To like put a highlight on each of those ridges. Definitely can do it if you take your time. You go slow, but it's difficult. So what I'll do with these is we'll do a little wet blend transition where I want the highlight to be, and then I'll just nail it with a pin wash with some enamel. A lot easier than trying to reset shade and highlight all those tiny little baby ridges. Could you 3D print a socket to fill the? You could if they were too small and you needed to be bigger. That's what Azathoth is talking about. But in my situation, I have 30 mil rounds and I need to go smaller to 25 mil squares, and that's not possible unless I like had an adapter that like lifted the model up so I could so I could stack models, you know. But that would look ridiculous. Yes, you're right. Even a 25 mil round would work in a movement tray. You just need little corner pieces to show out the difference. Multi-story, yeah, movement. That'd be ridiculous. Put a small base underneath your base. Yeah, right, yeah. You could do that. Let's see some hot Necromunda action. 40 chests. Okay, so when I painted my last dude, I used my favorite paint. But we're using all Iron Painter paints, the new Fnatic stuff. Okay, so let's keep doing that. So for the base coat, for the flesh, we'll use Topaz Skin. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do something that I see Heraldez do and also Da Vinci do, which is they start their skin from pure black, which that's where it's at right now. And they'll begin with a paint, like a largely all over base coat with a dark red brown. And then from there, then they'll highlight on that next color that I was about to do, Topaz Skin. So we need an appropriately dark red-brown color. And I'm not sure if I immediately see one. Maybe this color would work. Maybe I'm being influenced by the fact that it says Onyx in the name, but What I want is something darker and redder than this. That's really what I want, but I'm not gonna spend time fucking trying to find paint on my desk. It is a disaster zone and has been for quite a while. Or take the Dremel cutting wheel to it and make it square. That's a method. Whole red, that would be a great example. But I'm sticking with the Army Painter paints for today, and I don't know where they're at, or they're somewhere on my desk. Dryads and branch wraiths are on 30 mil squares, by the way, but 25 mil is the standard for most wood elves. That's okay, that works for me, because then I'm pretty sure, I don't think I rebased any of my dryads. Now that I think of it. So those guys. So here's a question for you guys. If you had a wood elf, okay, any army, not that big a wood elf, and half of it was on circles and half of it was on squares, would you rebase one of the halves so they were all consistent, or would you like rebase the circles into the correct size squares and then keep the old squares as the small ones with adapters in the movement trays? Or would you just make them all the same? Look up Modubays from Kickstarter. I have a new technique yesterday that rocked. Sprayed clear red over metallic gold and got the sexiest candle. Yeah, hell yeah, bro. I've done that before a lot with silver mostly, and that it does look amazing. You have to put on a lot of layers of Tamiya clear, depending on how much you thin it for the airbrush, but it looks amazing. You're right. I would take the path of least resistance. That would drive me nuts. I'm kind of feeling that. I feel like I would make them all hexagon, so you can play hero clicks. Is that what that game's called? All right, so we'll use this color. It's not a good color. Maybe what I can do is I can find a red from the Army Painter and paint in there. This is kind of okay, but this is kind of more of like this is not exactly what I'm looking for. This is not skin colored enough. This is mostly just like a mauve. A mauve? Maroon mauve? Okay, some people are saying it would drive them insane. I would buy a new army. Rebasing an army sounds like a fucking nightmare. Okay. That's definitely an answer. That's how they get you. Yeah, no kidding. No fucking kidding. Alrighty then. We'll mix some of this mulberry with this darker onyx skin, I think it was called. Okay, this is a fresh piece of paper, and mixing paint on it with the back of a wooden paintbrush handle is causing it to disintegrate. Normally that only happens on paper that I've had on my palette for like a super long time. This is Army Painter paper. I did not know that was a thing I had to measure and worry about, but apparently it is. I wanted to make a wet palette comparison video for the longest time, and I just don't know what to say in it, like what to really compare. I thought of like 2 or 3 things that would be interesting to compare, but for the most part, it's just like, what are you really comparing? And that could be one thing, as soon as you've gotten the paper hydrated, how easily does it tear? I like that earlobe, thank you. Kinky. I have no idea what's going on because Twitch is endlessly advertising instead of letting me watch the stream. God damn. Sorry to hear that. What's up, wife? Nope, you can't vacuum. Okay. Make sure everything is not in the way or going to get tipped over. And so when they paint the skin, they kind of do it in like an overbrushing kind of way where they like leave some black behind in the recesses. And that's like fine, I guess. I don't know. I feel like whenever I do that, I always regret it. I feel like I used to paint that way when I was like a kid. This is also not the right dark red color that they would use. I think what Geraldes and Da Vinci do is they don't like leave stark black in the recesses. They might kind of paint over it with one layer of translucent dark red. And that will kind of like tint the black to look, not totally black, but like an even darker brown red. Kind of like stuff like that. Like they're not like intentionally leaving black everywhere. You feel me? Loved your vid on going to learn from your painting hero. Started painting again after Recruit used, sir. Thank you, Housing Nebula. Appreciate that. Star Wars Geek! Thanks for the sub. Apocalypse Nurse gifted a sub. Thank you. For 10 years, I used a palette, a plate, paper towel, and Reynolds parchment paper. And you know what? Worked flawlessly. That's the thing with wet palettes, is that they're really like, you get 90% of the value, like just by using that setup. Like as long as you set it up correctly. That's another thing. You can't just go into that and not know what you're doing, because you will fuck it up. You will fuck it up in a way that doesn't seem obvious. Let me make that straightforward. You may think that it's easy and you're doing it right, but there are so many little pitfalls. So many. There's like 2 or 3 little pitfalls that will ruin the experience for you. What up, Krush? What do you think about Vallejo Express compared to Speed Paint? I'm being totally honest. I haven't like really used either of them in like a, in a scientific comparison way. So I don't really know how they compare. I think the Vallejo Express colors are a little bit more matte, but otherwise they seem to function largely the same. But I could be wrong about that. Never had any problems with it. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that, because, they're not too hard to make work for you. And I would say for the most part, they all do pretty well. Right now, because I used my exemplar wet palette at home, and then like didn't paint for like 6 months, and then I think there's black mold in my palette. And so what I've been using is just a plastic plate with just what Jay from Eons of Battle described, with a paper towel as a sponge and a little square of parchment paper. And that has been doing me just fine while I was painting my Greyjoy army, and I was painting a little bit of Shatterpoint stuff. Does mini painting at a higher altitude alter the painting experience? I would assume it does a little bit. I put a couple paintings in mine, stuck in my garage all summer, no mold. Nice, nice. What up, Summonless Maker? Exemplar palette seems to be, on paper, my favorite one. But again, like we were saying earlier, you get a ton of benefit, the majority of the benefit of a wet palette by just using a bare bones wet palette. It's not like you need the exemplar to really get it all, You've heard good things about green stuff paper? What up, McDude? I spritz my palette sponge with hydrogen peroxide every time I set up, and I have not had any mold issues since. Nice. Okay, that would work too. Yeah, there are a lot of ideas for how to deal with mold in a palette. Sometimes people say that you can put, copper in there. In fact, the exemplar palette comes with copper tape for you to apply to like the bottom of the palette, like under the paper. And that might work. People say to put aluminum in your wet palette. Like that is also naturally antimicrobial. Hydrogen peroxide certainly would work. Penny Gang checking in. I've been using my old red grass palette, leave water in it for 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks at a time. Never had mold issue. Nice. Well, try 6 or 8 months and then let me know. That was another idea I had for a wet palette comparison video, is I would just like put water in all the palettes, close all the lids, take a measure of the bacteria count beforehand, because apparently you can do that, and then take a measure afterwards as well, just to kind of see like what it is before and after. And that's like actually a scientific way to like compare stuff. And I went and bought those little test kits as well, because it wasn't that expensive. They were pretty cheap actually. Anyways, if anyone's looking to make a wet palette video, that would that'd be one thing that I would check. The zombie outbreak happens because of Scott. Yeah, Scott's bringing a new species in his palette, dude. Like fucking little paint golems, dude. Come to life. Attack you because you haven't been painting your minis. Sounds terrifying. All right, so I did keep a little bit of black in between those fingies, and like maybe a little bit under his bottom lip, but like that's it. Not trying to leave a ton of black around. Couldn't you just soak your in bleach? Yeah, probably. That would fix it. I'm trying to already answer this. I did not, Rufus. Did I sign up for anything that I'm excited for at Adepticon? No, I didn't, you know? It's always so challenging to beat everyone to all the exciting and fun classes. So I kind of just let it happen, and then kind of check it out later. But obviously that means they're all sold out. But I haven't really signed up for anything at Adepticon for the last couple of years. Because I have a lot of fun just walking around, hanging out. And one thing I'm excited to do, walking around and hanging out, is that I get to judge the Armies on Parade competition at Adepticon this year. I think it's gonna be me, it's gonna be Eric from Eric's Hobby Workshop, it's gonna be Adam from Tabletop Minions. So we get a nice spread of people with different levels of experience and different like verticals. And so yeah, that's what I'm excited for. What am I drinking on? I'm drinking on some Diet DP. Yeah, after with some John's Blood. What up, Spaz? I used water straight from the tap. Eric is the best. He rocks. Have you been coerced to come to Nova yet? They're trying. I'm down for a Shatterpoint if you find the time. I plan to have my minis painted by Adepticon. Dan promised me a game already. A game of Shatterpoint? Hell yeah, dude. I was kind of thinking for a little community event, we'd play Blitz, Flesh and Blood Blitz with the pre-con decks. That'd be funny to do a little single limb tournament. You're a celebrity. You should have people that do things like sign up for classes for you. I suppose so. Xander Zone, 16 months of subbing. Thank you, sir. All right, we're gonna do another layer of highlights here. This time we're gonna use Topaz Skin. I don't know what this is gonna look like because this is like significantly more saturated than the base layer I just put on. Maybe what we'll try to do here is mix a little bit of that color into the Topaz just to kind of like give us a little step into the color. I read the rules for Shatterpoint twice, and I still can't wrap my head around it. Yeah, that rule book, Darth Paw, is fucking awful. It is written as though a computer is supposed to ingest it for the purposes of some kind of software. Mike's got 5 Blitz decks to loan out if anyone wants in. Oh my god, it's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait to fucking just brick house all of you with Levia. No, I'm not very good at the game. Darth Paul, if you got any questions about Shatterpoint, let me know, and I can try to help out. All right, let's. I need an adult. I'm not much of an adult, but I can try. All right, I'm gonna layer on the paint before mixing the other color into it to try to get that step up that I just talked about. I'm gonna just thin it with water first and see if we can just like do the step up just without having to do it. We'll paint with a little translucent paint, and then we'll kind of build up that layer. The rulebook is awful. It took me 5 hours for the first game looking stuff up, and the second game took an hour. Yeah, once you figure it out, there are still some confusing things like what's the difference between a jump and a climb? Like what's a shove versus like when I shove someone, do I get to follow up? When I force push someone, do I get to follow up from that? There's a lot of like little weird things like that, but once you figure there's like 5 or 7 rules that are kind of weird like that, then you're good to go. Or like when you I forget what the rule is. Okay, it's not a whole lot of surface area for the skin. Most of it is hidden. But start in the hand here. That'll give us a better idea if this technique we're doing is working or not working. Oh, the other thing was like the sharpshooter rule. If you have a character with a sharpshooter rule, like Django, or one of the Mandalorians has it. I think it's actually the evil Mandalorian. You only get to use the sharpshooter extra dice roll if you are also focused. Or when you like hunker, when you take a hunker action, you actually get to move 1 inch. It's like all weird shit like that. Gar Saxon, thank you, Trunstall. That's his name. I can't remember his name. Yes, they do have learn to play sessions of Shatterpoint. The problem with it is that they schedule them, and they're all scheduled. Any thoughts on making part of a shirt look wet? Should I just paint it darker? Yeah, you kind of want to paint it darker, but you also want, because like depending on what kind of shirt it is, if it's like opaque, then it's going to show some skin underneath it. So mixing a little bit of skin color also in that paint is a good idea. And then lastly, you just have to kind of recreate like a water splatter effect. I think a lot of people really take for granted how important that part of a technique like that is. Trying to emulate the randomness of splattered water or whatever it is, oil or anything, you know. You have to really kind of think about that. You know, this is working out just fine using the thin down paint. And part of the reason why it is working just fine could be that, you know, there's not a whole lot of skin visible, and so if a little bit of it, or if there's a bad blending on a little bit of it, you're never going to see that. So, not necessarily an amazing test. My rec for learning Shatterpoint, get a demo game. Yeah, for sure. Some other bits on the base will help to give some atmosphere. On this model, take your time. Take your painting wins where you can get them, man. For sure, for sure. Let's hear some hobby resolutions. My resolution, I believe, I want to end the year with a painted 40K army. And I think I want to finish my Shatterpoint squad. That should not be hard. And I would love to have a Legion army at the end of the year as well. So I did 2 fantasy armies this year, do 2 sci-fi armies this year. That's my resi. My res is to paint at least once a week. That's good. That's good. Finish Indomitus. Love that. We all have far too many giant GW boxes just sitting in our, closets, garage, shelf, you name it. This guy doesn't really have much of a face to paint. Eon's battle with the Subarino. I was gifted a sub. Very nice. Twitch ads. Paint the star set for a Song of Ice and Fire. Nice. Finish your Alpha Legion Heresy army. Very good. Legion is fun. I hope it is. I bet it is. Finish Sisters Battle. 4 squads for Shatterpoint. And my Tyranid Combat Patrol. What I want to do is Subaru ad. That's hilarious. All right. I want a little bit more control, around the lips here. It's because, sorry, and by more control, I mean a thicker paint. With the level of thinness that I was using just right then, it tends to be a little washy, not super accurate. And by thickening it up a little bit, kind of stays where you put it a little bit better. Convert and paint 1K points to cities. Going for an evil city that betrayed the order. Very nice. My resolution is to finish kit bashing and painting all the horrors in The Doomed. I don't know what that is. Learn how to paint in ZBrush. Nice. Finish some scale models and 2 Pegaso figures. Okay. There's a group of 4 and then the 2 groups making 8. What are the names? They're called strike teams, I believe. Strike teams form up your... I don't know what the whole thing is. Am I wrong about? I could be wrong about that. The Premier Showdown Tournament rules for Shatterpoint has you bring in 4 squads to the event. You pick which 2 to run each game, and you need to run all 4 by the end. Yeah, nice. Sammy, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm gonna run. I know I want. I gotta paint and talk. I'm sadly not gonna see everything you guys are saying, and that saddens me. There was a guy on a Dark Eldar forum that I used to frequent called thedarkcity.net, and he ran a list that was like 12 Reaver jet bikes, and like I just love that so much. I love that, and I also love razor wing jet fighters, and so like part of me wants to just like take a list that has like a ton of bikers and like 2 razor wing jet fighters, or like a razor wing jet fighter and like a Void Raven bomber, and have just like a really fast and mean Dark Eldar list. I love that. To play more games from different systems? Hell yeah, I love that. If I could give you guys some advice about resolutions, obviously you don't want a resolution that's gonna take a very, the majority of your painting time for the year. Because you need to make space for the new shit that comes out. Otherwise, you're gonna want to paint the new stuff that comes out and not the things you have resolutions for. So just keep that in mind. Fast lists are always fun. Yeah, I believe it. They seem fun. Resolution to learn more on miniature sculpting and get at least 5 display models painted. Fast and mean, that doesn't sound like Dark Eldar. It doesn't sound like Dark Eldar? Are you fucking with me? Aim small, miss small. Sure, I guess you could say that. I don't know. A resolution doesn't need to be like a super important thing that you accomplish. It can be just like a little goal, you know? And then what you do the rest of the year can also be important. And good. Wow, okay, you know, you're good, you're good. I got you, yeah, for sure. Fast and mean, that's Dark Outdoors motto. Aim small, miss small. Wait, is that a Patriot quote? Man, it's been a hot minute since I watched The Patriot or Civil War. Anyone see the Civil War with Ferris Bueller? 18 jet bikes and 30 Hellions fit nicely inside of a 2,000-point list. Why would you know that, Jay? Is that your list? All right, that seemed good enough for a little skin highlight. There's a little bit of a transition on the arm there, and now we'll bump it up to the next highlight. Glory. Glory, that's what it's called, thank you. That's what he teaches his kids when shooting, okay. Total 420 says, finally learn a wet blend, glaze, and feather properly. Oh, and actually paint something instead of wishing I could paint like Scott. Oh, hey, hell yeah. I mean, that's good. And then they repeat it while they absolutely wreck the red coats. The Patriot was one of like 20-ish DVDs my family owned growing up. Okay, that was one of your family movies. Okay, I feel like a lot of families have that. They have like a set of some amount of movies that they watched multiple times. I love that. You stealing my boxes? You want to pop on camera here and show everyone your getup? Okay. Kids these days will never know what it's like to have a movie selection of like a dozen random movies your family owns on VHS and DVD. Yeah. My 2024 resolution might be to not get sucked into the old world. That doesn't sound very mini painterly of you, Mike Genie. All right, last highlight here. I think that'll be good enough. Maybe I'll do a little bit extra on the face, a little extra bump. But for the arms, at the very least, we'll end on Barbarian Flesh. B-Day boy! What up, Johnny boy? Yes, I had my birthday on Saturday. It was fucking lit, dude. I played Dune Imperium. I lost. Sad. And then we played Dice Throne 2v2. Me and my wife crushed 2 of my friends. And then we went to a pizza restaurant that I haven't been to before called it's called The Restaurant, as in like WR, because it used to be called Rectangle Pizza, whereas in the rectangle was spelled with W, like you got wrecked. It's a Detroit pizza place that recently opened like a bigger restaurant where they serve more than just pizza, but we all got pizza anyways. And my wife surprised me when we got there. It was so cool. When we got there, I said it was me and 2 friends and my wife. And I was like, table for 5, under the name of Amber, because she made the reservation. And she was like, I got Amber for 12. And then at that moment, I was like, wow, my wife thought that I'd have 12 friends with me coming to the restaurant. That's hilarious. I feel embarrassed that I didn't have that many friends. And then she walked us to the table, and there were 7 other of my friends right there. And it was so cool. That was such an amazing surprise. So I had a great birthday. We came back after dinner, watched Morbius, because why wouldn't we? And it was good. It was a good time. Crazy! Holy shit, how many gifted subs was that? 10 gifted subs. Rate the pizza, please. Oh, it was great. It was so good. They have a lot of like kind of wacky flavors, and we got like one of everything. I sliced from I think 5 out of 6 of the pizzas, and they were all really good. I really enjoyed them. I would recommend. It's a Detroit style pizza. It's Morbin time. Crazy. Thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it, man. Imagine Morbius being the movie you pick for your birthday. Dude, That's the only time I can get people to watch that movie with me, okay? That is the time to pick that. Do y'all watch it ironically? No, I don't watch it ironically. It's I am of the opinion that the Morbius movie is just as good as like 70% of all the other Marvel superhero movies. So is it good or is it bad? It's not bad. It's not so bad that it's good. There's many better movies for that kind of experience. It's fine. It does some things pretty well. I think the action sequences that are in the movie, despite them being short, are pretty good. I wish they were longer, but they're really cool. What is actually in the movie. I think it has a little bit of a slow ramp up. It takes a little bit too long to get into the vampiring and eating of people. And the other problem is that they made it PG-13. And look, we're talking about a goddamn vampire here, okay? This movie needs to get out of its own way and be the R-rated horror fucking superhero movie that it was meant to be. If they did all that stuff, I feel like the movie would be an amazing 6 out of 10 movie, you know? Like not groundbreaking, but really good, you know, really what it's supposed to be. Blood Rays or get the fuck out. Exactly. I mean, they should have watched Blade 1 and then just copied that with Morbius, okay? Morbius is a prime 2004 superhero movie. Is that when did Blade 1 come out? Like in the 90s, I think? That's how it always goes. Some motherfucker's always trying to skate uphill. Yeah. Damn. Anyways, it's a fine movie. It isn't terrible. It isn't amazing though, and that makes me sad. But I have no regrets buying the Blu-ray, or rather asking for the Blu-ray. It's a fun time. Yes, exactly. That's like my gold standard, you know? Like 5 out of 10, like right in the middle is like, man, I don't know, whatever. 3 out of 5, 6 out of 10. To me, that often means they're doing something special, you know? They're doing things wrong, but at least they did something redeemable to get it over the bell curve a little bit. Blade, Morbius, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, it would be a fun evening with, oh my God, bro. I love that idea. I would be a part of that. Please invite me. I mean, there's a lot of good vampire movies you could pick. But that'd be a lot of fun. Oh yeah, the new Blade game looked pretty cool too. Isn't it a good Blood Rain movie? Oh yeah, man. I had no idea what Blood Rain was. I like bought it randomly because I had recently gotten a PS2 and I wanted to buy games for it. So I bought Blood Rain because like I loved vampires when I was like in high school still, and I had no idea what I was getting into. That was a pretty fun game. What do you think of Talk to Me overall? Aside from the kids using the hand like a party drug, I thought it was a pretty disappointing movie. Glorified Ouija board with a clunky addiction subtext. Huh. I didn't hate it. That was one of the better horror movies that I watched this year. I'm trying to remember what I said about it. But I can just go look. I don't know. I think when a movie can make you feel a thing, then it's working. And when I watched that movie, I was like just so frustrated at all the children, like you just described, treating the like possession like it's like a joint, you know, like a weed. And I was like, you guys are all idiots. Like we can see the writing on the wall. This is making me so angry.
And I guess that's just that for me. That's kind of like good storytelling. When you have like an emotional response to something that's going on on the screen, then they're doing their job. And so that kind of worked for me. I thought that was a cool mechanism. There's a lot of possession movies. There's a lot of horror movies where there are people inside a house, and it gets worse every single day. That is a formula. And that felt like a little bit of a fresh take on it.
Pretend everyone's having a good time, John. Everybody. I'm sure John can hear you, Super Gamer Boys. Young Puffed, thanks for the Prime sub. I've never heard of Afflicted, never. I don't know what that is. I liked Evil Dead Rise. Oh, you know what? It's hard to remember all the horror movies I watched in 2023, but I think I like Evil Dead Rise more too. Whittle Goblin, it also frustrated me as well, but I think in a good way, which is kind of why I liked it. I feel like if you're like we were saying, if you have an emotional response to a thing, not like, oh man, this movie is so poorly made, like not that kind of emotional response. Like the character is doing something and it's making you mad, happy, sad, whatever. Then the writing of the character is believable and good. That's the argument that I'm putting forward. And I kind of felt like they did that pretty well in Talk to Me. I don't know, for a directorial debut where the directors are two YouTubers, I thought it was pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, great, you liked it. Okay, awesome. I assumed incorrectly. Oh, Renfield was fun too. You know what? I think I actually started watching that movie and then never finished it. Because I watched it on an airplane and then never, it didn't finish before I landed. And then I just never finished it. It's on Netflix? Okay, I can finish it then. I've been mad at characters for doing shit that never makes sense. Yeah, that's a different thing. And that's also happens very often in horror movies. Characters doing dumb shit, walking into rooms where someone recently died, or there's a spooky sound to advance the plot. That's always fun. It's like, please. I would have left that cabin and driven away 14 hours ago. I recently rewatched Evil Dead Rise. And that was, let's go into the chainsaw shed instead of leaving in the car. And that movie's good. I like it a lot, but I really like the other one better, the new one that came out. I can't remember when. I always say 2013, but I don't know. I have seen, I think a full season of that show, What We Do in the Shadows. I appreciate how the Evil Dead Rise is like trying to be like the new Evil Dead and the old Evil Dead, and I think it does that super successfully. I just think it does it at a cost. I think the cost is that the movie is a little bit less scary because it's a little bit funnier, you know, like the whole choking out the eyeball and following it with like a bullet time cam and stuff like that, or like the monster being like a flesh golem of all the people put together. It's a little bit hokey, right? And it does that, and it's a little bit less scary as a result. Yeah, for sure. The Descent was very effective at being entertaining and frustrating. Similar to Talk to Me. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I've seen The Descent a while ago. That one is another cult hit that a lot of people really like. That's a good one.
The transition into my first shadow here on the forearm is a little bit too intense, and so I'm just going to glaze it over with what was my first highlight layer. Actually, you know what? I don't think that was my first highlight layer. It's looking pretty awful right now. Paint some shadow back in, grab my actual first highlight layer, and then give that another shot.
Cabin Woods is great. The Boogeyman. Drag Me to Hell is awesome. I love Drag Me to Hell. That's Sam Raimi, right?
That's a fun one. That is a fun one. I don't know if fun's the right term.
It's not necessarily a funny movie.
This guy's got a really big, like, frowny face. We gotta make sure that frowny face is looking beautiful. So for those of you who enrolled in classes at Adepticon, which class are you most hyped for?
Or event, or any event, not class necessarily. Listen, if you don't expect a little goofy stuff in your horror movie from the executive producer of Xena Warrior Princess, that's on you. What movie has the same producer as Xena Warrior Princess? Top Live, hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, brother.
Okay, that is good enough. All right, now before cleaning up the straps on the arm, because I think I might have to use the black to fix the armor panels anyways, let's do the armor panels first. Wet blending class? Sam Raimi did Xena? Oh my God, and Hercules. I did not know that. Holy shit, that's hilarious. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go for the first time. Didn't sign up for events due to being overwhelmed with them. I think if you go for the first time, you don't have any friends, you definitely want to sign up for some events. Scary movie. First scary movie I ever saw was The Blair Witch Project. That movie was very scary when I watched it the first time. If you have never heard of The Blair Witch Project and you are willing to watch a horror movie, do not look up anything about it and go and watch it sometime. The odds that you've never heard of that movie are low, but if you haven't, you owe it to yourself to watch it. I need a gray. Another one for Sam Lenz's wet blending class. I hated the Blair Witch Project. Let me restate that. If you have never heard of the Blair Witch Project, you're willing to watch a horror movie, and you're okay with the genre of found footage, please watch it. Found footage is like we discovered a film camera that had some shitty video on it, and we watched it back. And there's editing, but everything is incredibly subtle, and it's meant to make you feel like you found a film camera and you're watching clips on it. It's really claustrophobic way to make a video or a movie. Not seeing any gray. I suppose that would make sense though. Why would they? Gray's a boring ass color. Let me check the back of the box just to see if there is a gray. There definitely is. There's deep gray and ash gray. So the question is, where'd they make it off to? Oh, here's a tray over here with some grays in it. Look at me, ash gray. I'm winning. V/H/X, also another pretty good found footage movie. I have a 75mm dark themed King Arthur display piece. Ooh, that sounds cool. Hell yeah. Love to hear that the Miniac crew was being a friend for those without friends at Adepticon, because that can not be fun. You don't have anyone to hang out with. I've never seen Kronos. That is a Del Toro movie that I've not seen yet. Hell House LLC, that one was okay. I wasn't super into that one.
I think it kind of depends, you know, like when you have seen a couple found footage movies, they start to feel kind of samey, you know? And so like whatever ones you've seen first tend to have more of an impact. Okay, let's paint up the shoulder. So the shoulder curves out toward the bottom, and so the bottom is where the highlight would be, not on top. Also, I don't need a ton of highlight, just a wee bit. This lower third. Fucking spike in the way, dude.
Okay, so we got a little wet blend going on from top to bottom. Now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't really feel like it's going up high enough to be interesting. And so maybe what we'll do is, you know what, we'll keep it like that, and we'll supplement it with a little bit of edge highlighting to make it look a little bit better. Yes, and if you want to join the Miniac Discord, you can do it through becoming a patron, but you can also do it becoming a sub here on Twitch. It gets you access to my Discord server. And I think there's a thread or a channel for Adepticon, people to kind of coordinate who's where and stuff like that. Including the Prime sub, that also works. Love me some spooky vibes. Have an Oktoberfest, light a scented candle, watch the Cenobites flay a dude while he's still alive as the leaves fall off the trees. That sounds
Troubling. TC Gentry, you might have missed the chat last time, but I nixed the gaming stream. So the gaming stream is no more. So no. Can Kanjan eat more tendies than normal John? I would say absolutely. Absolutely he can. That drunk power, you know, just expands your stomach. This volume over here on his calf is a little bit harder to highlight and shade. The question of where do I put my highlights is a little bit more challenging. And so let's talk through that for a second. Hosier, thanks for the sub, appreciate it. Okay, so this shin here is a cylinder. These are Iron Painter Fanatic paints, and so far they're pretty good. You know, I've had a little bit of trouble with the skin tones, but everything else seems to be working pretty well. Mirrors was a freaky movie. Do you mean Oculus? Also a horror movie about mirrors. That movie was pretty scary. So anyways, this shin is a cylinder, or it's a part of a cylinder, right? It's a nice curved shape, kind of long. And so that means that the highlights, generally speaking, if it's a slightly satin or reflective thing, go up and down. They run the length of the cylinder. And additionally, the top here is flaring out,
And so that probably would be getting a little bit of shade there. And the bottom also flares out. So that would be getting a little bit of highlight there. And what I did was I took kind of took a look at the main angle that I care about, which is like this shot right here. I guess this is like the nice shot, somewhere in here. And I'm preferring this side of the shin so that you can see that blend when looking at it from this side. If I put it on this side of the shin, you know, it might be a little bit accurate. It might look cool or be just as accurate as this choice, but it wouldn't contribute to the most important shot of the model, which is this one right here. I think I want to start talking more about miniature painting in the stream, at least more than we used to do, which is like kind of like almost like never. I don't know if that will make a difference. You know what? I should have snuck some green into this gray color. That was a missed opportunity. Sometimes if you are wet blending with black, it can be nice to thin the black down more than the gray or whatever color you're using to blend with that black. And then it kind of softly mixes with the wet paint and doesn't like immediately take it over. Yeah, we're here talking about movies and you know it. I mean, I love talking about movies, okay? I can't get enough of it. I talk to myself, basically, and I write reviews that no one sees because I can't talk about it enough. So I will never say no to that. Which has the most recent one, the one right before this one, so last week's. Don't know, it seems suspicious. You know, I've noticed that the stream over the last year has like dropped in viewership and performance, and you know, I don't really try that hard with Twitch just because YouTube just takes a lot of time. You know, it takes a lot of time and energy and stuff like that. But I am curious why that is, and so I am beginning to think about, you know, like why is that happening? Is it because I'm not focusing on the painting so much? And so I'm just trying to make some changes and see if they impact at all. Who does he think he is? Okay, so now have a little blend on that foot. A little bit too harsh here on the edge. See if we can soften that with a darker gray. I know this is just my point of view, but most of my streaming comes from having it on while I work. So maybe it's time of day. The time of day hasn't really changed a whole lot for the paint stream. We've been painting in this time slot for I think at least 2 years. So that's been pretty consistent in terms of experimenting. So that isn't necessarily the reason why it's gone down over the course of the last year and a half. But that could be a reason why it is not as good as it could be. Rat Pain, what a fucking name. Yeah, I believe you, bro. I bet you like Cawdor with a name like that. Thanks for the sub. I've noticed far more painters entering the space, such as Marco. It could be that, yeah, that could be a reason too. Oh, okay, I got you, Cobenheister. Maybe. I think the real reason that just the streams aren't performing like super well in general is just because every social media platform wants you to love it. It wants you to give all your love and attention to it. And if you don't do that, you will not perform as well. And that comes in the many different shapes, you know. And I think I've already talked about this, so I don't need to belabor the point.
Suffice to say, I don't give enough love and attention to Twitch. Pay in a hot tub and you'll be fine. You guys want to see me shirtless? Okay, I got you, Slarty Tomba. Slarty Tomba? That could also be a thing as well, HUD. Yeah, every stream should be drunk midi painting. Just get plastered once a month or once a week. Take it off! Jay, calm down. You scabrous dog. Jay, can I tell him about our thing? The thing that we have to talk about on voice chat? Or is that a secret? I can keep secrets. Whenever I think about keeping secrets, I just think of The Office. I don't know why. Just watched the Greyjoy vid yesterday and it got me fired up to get back to trying to finish squads myself. You forget how nice a full squad looks. Hell yeah, dude. Absolutely it does. Go for it. I have a Google Doc to share with you. Okay, sick. So Jay messaged me and he was like, yo, can we chat? And then I was like, oh God, what did I do? No, I didn't think that. He was like, do you want to, throughout the course of 2024, work on our Dark Eldar armies together? And I was like, hell yes. And so we're gonna try to release four-ish YouTube videos throughout the year that are about us progressing our Dark Eldar armies. And I know exactly what the first one's gonna be. It's gonna be awesome, dude. Where's the fat guy? Hey, don't be mean to yourself. What up, Evan? Thanks for the sub. 40 months, god damn! Evan was in the office yesterday from 3 until 11:30 because he was playing games. He was playing Warcry and Kill Team. That's okay, Sammy. Sammy, you're actually the perfect person that I'm trying to, what's the word? I want to crack your skull open and take your brain out and like figure out how you think. Because you don't watch gaming content and I want to know what would make you interested in watching gaming content. And maybe it's just like you're not into gaming. That's totally fine. Yeah, I'm editing this Kill Your Friends A Song by Ice and Fire video, which is done. I actually finished it today. I need to do the audio, but that doesn't take very long. And I'm like thinking about the intro and like what I'm gonna thumbnail and title it. And I'm thinking like, how do I make this captivating for like the standard person, you know? Someone who's like into painting, but not into the you know, the whole gaming aspect. And it's a hard question to answer, you know? Nice. I'm glad to hear it, guys. Kill Team sucks. So disappointed. As a thought. Oh no, dude. Gaming content is not produced well. I mean, I feel like the 40K and 40 minutes channel it's amazing. It's amazing. Did you watch Tabletop Times Space Bears Battle Report? Definitely the most interesting one I've seen. I'm also not into gaming content. Eon's Battle. Where are your Kill Your Friends vids posted? Well, the one that exists is on my YouTube channel. Seasons of War keeps getting better and better. I'm glad to hear that. How's the weather where you're at? Everyone is snowed in here. It's just chill, dude. We're chill here in Minnesota for whatever reason. It snowed a little bit, maybe like an inch, but it's fine. You know, it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit, 30 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. It's very low key. I honestly don't watch anyone do bat reps unless the people involved are entertaining, which is why I love Kill Your Friends. Well, this one, okay. I mean, I know all you guys are gonna watch past the first 30 seconds, but what I'm really concerned about are the people that are gonna see the thumbnail and title and just turn it off, or watch the first 30 seconds and then be like, this is not for me. Because the video turned out really awesome. I'm very proud of it. So I can't wait to show you guys. Scott, I do have time. I do game, but only 40K because my time and capacity for retaining rules is limited. Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Totally fair. The tough thing is those BRRRRR channels are teams of 5+ dudes all working to pull one vid together, and those channels can't support paying any of them full time. Says Ninjam. Yeah, you know, it is hard. Obviously, it took me like 3 weeks to like make this video by myself, and it was very challenging. I think it's okay to do every once in a while. No, it's tough. It's tough. I really enjoy making the videos because they're like a totally different thing, like a super fresh challenge. But also, I love gaming, so that also helps. Okay, I've done a wee bit of blending. Okay, that was terrible. Sorry about that. Jesus Christ. And now I'm gonna just do some pin washing in these areas to get the definition that's very challenging to get with a paintbrush, also with this giant crossbow in the way. I think BRRRRs suffer because there is no sense of stakes. It's like the difference between watching preseason and regular season sports. Have I tried painting with heavy body acrylics? Yes, I have. Oh, the video starts with stakes, let me tell you. The stakes of wanting to beat your friends in war games, which is very important, okay? No one, and I mean no one, wants to lose to their friends, okay? It's terrible. There are channels that do Fantasy Battle 6th edition reports that I really like. One guy plus guests, that's crazy. Okay, everyone who says that BRRRR channels don't, or like the BRRRRs aren't edited well and are not entertaining and stuff like that, if you think they're not fun to watch, I implore you to go watch Games Night. I don't know why it's plural, probably because they're British and they like to pluralize weird things like maths. But watch Games Night. The guys from Yogcast have a battle report channel, and it fucks. They are awesome at making battle reports. And I kind of feel like I want to make battle reports just like them, but I also love the idea of teaching the people the game so that they know what's going on and it's not purely a narrative thing. And okay, Guardian, thanks for the sub. Did you start watching that because Pyrian is on there? Peachy isn't one of them. You're right. Peachy isn't one of them. So I think I actually found the channel because I saw Pyrian's face on a thumbnail, and I was like, Pyrian Flax plays war games? I haven't watched a single one that he's in because I'm not super into historical games, but I've watched every other one that they've done, and they're so much fun. They're so much fun. And the reason why they're so much fun is because they don't give a shit about the rules. It's just about the interactions and the having of fun and the crafting of a story. It's so much fun to watch. I love it. Need a Necromunda, kill your friends. That's possible. AOS is possible. I have painted armies for both of those things. And the one thing I don't have is painted terrain sets for all that stuff. But I know Pyrian Flax Dota, yes. Pyrian Flax plays historical war games. I think it's because they have a GM-like figure, even in a 1v1. That's true. That does help. It helps to have someone who's kind of like, yeah, making that narrative component, it kind of like, kind of stays alive. Okay, that kind of murdered the whole effect. Not gonna lie. So if I want to do this again in the future, and why don't we just try right now? I need to go brighter with my gray. And so let's just do that. Yeah, you saw that Mike Genius evaporate. Exit Midnight, you might not like the video that I'm making. There's certainly not 2 hours of footnotes where rules are explained, but I definitely want you to understand what's going on. I don't know. I don't cross a line, but it remains to be seen, you know? Looks like Games Night used to be all board games and is now all war games. Yeah, they used to have like a role-playing thing as well, and they played Blackstone Fortress as well. But yeah, they've kind of taken a bit of a turn and now are doing largely miniature wargaming. You know what? I'm just gonna run right over this metal stake thing, whatever. Okay, now we got a nice brighter and larger light gray wet blend, and let's see if our enamel pin wash just annihilates that too. What's up?
Do you have paper clips?
Yeah, I do. If we missed out on Tup Ticks for Adepticon, can we not go? Nah, just show up. Just show up. We'll let you in. The reason why we charge $1 or $2 or whatever it is, I don't think we're ever gonna even see that money. You need one? You need many? It's because people like signed up for the free event last year and then it just never showed up. And so we wanted there to be some stakes. So $2 seems like the right amount of stakes.
Don't you have to pay for the room? Isn't that why you're charging?
We've never paid for the room.
I thought that's why you were charging.
No. It's just, we just want to give Adepticon some money, apparently. Okay, I had a little container of paper clips and I put it right here all the time. And it's not here anymore. But all of the crap, oh, it's probably on my desk. I keep forgetting that my desk is an absolute fucking state right now. Yeah.
I don't need that many.
Dude, I bought these from the Office Max next to Games Workshop in Kenosha like a decade ago. Isn't that crazy?
There's no Office Max.
Office D, whatever, an office
nothing
supply.
over
There was. You're welcome. I'll take my $2 steak medium rare. Okay, nice reference. Oh yeah, so the thing is that there is zero narrative in the game that we're playing. Like there's a narrative between me and Curtis, and like you know how we both really want to fucking win, and how like we're like devastated by certain things happening. But like in terms of the story of the actual game, that's something that we did not, or I did not try to figure out, which that could be a problem, you know. All right, a little bit brighter this time. Maybe I try to apply a little bit less of the wash. Or not. I can also wipe some of this away. That's the other thing that's kind of going unexplained here, is that enamel washes, like oil washes, can be wiped away to reveal some of the surface. It's just a little bit hard with detail that's this shallow, just because you tend to wipe away the shading in the recesses as well. Have I ever painted any KDM models? I have. There's a video on it on my channel. It's called Kingdom Death, in all caps, period. That looks better. Not perfect, but well, you know what? It kind of dried on the shin there. If I'm being totally honest, I'm looking at the shin here, the dried shin, and you know, it's not that impressive. So this idea that I had seemingly not working out very well. All right, let's go crazy, okay? I have to remember what has enamel on it and what doesn't. Just putting brushes in my mouth willy-nilly. Yeah, no, that's totally a thing. You can totally do that, and that's so much fun. Exigent Midnight, when like goofy things happen and you try to like make a narrative to like represent what's going on or justifying what's going on. That's fun. I love doing that. I like the green on the RPG bit. Is it a question? I can't wait to make an Oops All Ewok Shatterpoint team. That's hilarious, dude. I've gotten into playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I haven't like played it online at all. I'm like just playing against the AI, and playing. It basically is Battlefield, but with Star Wars skins. And the way that game works, for people who don't know, because I didn't know, is basically you spawn in as like a regular dude, like a stormtrooper, for instance. And then you, through doing various things, earn battle points. And then when you die and respawn again, you can spend those battle points on spawning in as like Darth Vader or like whatever, something cool. And you can spawn in as a fucking Ewok if you're a Rebel player, or as like BB-8 if you're a fucking Rebel player. And apparently like the robots, like the BB-8 is like really good. That's funny though. Joking narrative about in-game moment. I mean, my favorite part of gaming. Yeah, I agree. That's fun. Red Rocket ZN. Thank you, sir. All right, so I made this other shin down here like super bright. Not super bright, but like, you know, on that very corner, it's pretty bright. Let's check that out. A little bit too much in that corner. We'll suck some of it up. Still a bit too much. It like kind of works when it's wet, and then when it dries, it just loses everything. Okay. Yes, all right. Don't forget you can lick that brush too. Panel liner is less opaque than many washes. Well, that sounds like a good thing for what I'm trying to do right now. And it's still covering over this gray quite a bit. But it's not about how it compares to other washes. It's just, I'm just trying to figure out what's the amount of bright gray that I need to use for this bottle of wash sitting on my desk. What up, AKJ? How's it going? Am I gonna paint and cave and paint some Battletech? I don't know. When the company makes models that aren't ass. Just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding entirely. I paint just the things that I like. And so far, that company has not made anything that has caught my imagination. And that's really what it comes down to. What are my favorite minis to paint? You know, I don't really know. It's hard to say. There are like so many things that can make a model enjoyable to paint and not enjoyable to paint. It's hard to like summarize them. Obviously, like when the thing is a subject matter that I am interested in, like vampires or wood elves, that helps. But like, that doesn't solve the problem entirely. Like, there are so many wood elf models and vampire models that are bad minis, in my opinion, and I don't want to paint them. So it's not just about having the right subject matter. You also want to have like a model that's going to be fun to paint. For instance, one thing that I harp on all the time is just amount of detail. And the reason why having an over-detailed model isn't fun is just because it removes expression. You know, I can't make a lot of choices on the model because the choices have already been made for me in terms of like where I can put my blends, what colors I can use, like what I can do with large open spaces and stuff like that. Like here, let me show you a model that's really good. What about the new Age of Sigmar? Yeah, some of the stuff is good for sure. There are so many models that like are worth like my time and your time to paint. So many. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find this model in a reasonable amount of time. But I was at Adepticon last year, and it was like the last day during the awards ceremony. And some person walked up to me. It was a European fellow, and he was like, "Hey, like the channel? Like, what do you think of my models?" And they were awesome. So it was called Dark Apostle Minis, I believe, if I can remember all of it. And he handed me like an Ahsoka-esque model with the tentacles on the head. I forget what they're called. Like Latiku or something like that. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing is that it could be like it could be purity seals, it could be ropes, it could be like any number of things. Oh my god, I have so many models in here, dude. It's fucking crazy, dude. I don't think that I'm gonna be able to find this model in a reasonable amount of time, but surely there's another one in here somewhere. Man, the amount of models that I have is wild and crazy. All right, here's one. This is not the one I'm talking about, but oh, I found it. Nice. Yes. Oh, so many models in here. Okay. Leku. If GW releases a big army box for Wood Elves, are all your plans going out the window? Yes, but only if there are new models in it. Only if the entire box is new models, or like 80% of it. I am not going to buy old Wood Elves, because I have enough of those. I will wait for the new things to go on eBay and buy it. This model is many things. It is a great amount of detail. It has places for me to have fun and paint and interpret volumes like her abs, her chest. Her face is nice and widely open. It has a good stance. It's not closed off. It's not closed at all. It's not hard to reach really any areas other than the unimportant areas like kind of down here. It has skin if you want to paint skin, but she's an alien, so you can paint it alien-like. It has metal, it has cloth. And also the detail is proportioned correctly for the scale that it is. This is a 32 mil scale model, and the hands and the face and the feet, everything is enlarged nicely to the point where it doesn't look too cartoony, but it's also not impossible to paint. And so like this model is really doing it for me in terms of all those things. I'm not necessarily interested in the subject matter. Like it's not the model that I would pick from the Star Wars universe to paint, but in terms of everything else, this is rocking it. So yeah, this is Dark Apostle. This is the name of the company, I believe. A great 32 mil scale model. Settle down. Yeah, it is heroic scale, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do heroic scale. I've definitely seen some Legion models that look a little goofy, like some heads in the hand a little bit too big, a little bit too weird. Okay. Not all heroic scale models are created equal. I don't have a way of linking something in chat right now. Apparently Dark Apostle, someone was asking for that to be linked. The company. It'll be a small European company. I had my buddy over actually, Scott, and we were watching some Star Wars: The Old Republic gameplay, like cutscenes, because they're so nicely made. Tubikins! Thank you for the sub. I'll read your message in a little bit. And we're talking about people who make Legion STLs, because I would love to make a fully 3D printed Legion army. And there was one that I really liked, Dark Fire Designs. He told me that they weren't appropriately scaled for Legion, which made me sad. But now I want to try to figure out what would be like the right
STL provider. Tubbikin says, I absolutely hate true scale in 28 or 32 mil. It's like you're painting, it's like your unpainted render looks great, but the actual execution of painting the thing is a pain in the ass. You are 100% right. It is very interesting. And a lesson that I learned when I made the Wood Elves 32 mil. No, I'm not certain on the name. I thought I was. I'm seeing the packaging now, and I remember that name, but it's very possible that I'm wrong. You know, it's very possible. It's good stuff. Okay, Summon Lesser Maker says it's good stuff. Okay, so it works with Legion models. Is that what you're telling me right now? Man, I am struggling right now. I'm trying to figure out if it's the paint that I'm struggling with or if it's just the fact that I haven't painted in a while. My painting chops are rusty. You have a faction you're interested in for Legion, Scott? Well, definitely the Empire, Galactic Era Empire. I love those guys so much. Okay, gotcha. I just want some little highlights on these straps. A couple Inquisitors are releasing. Awesome. Probably the ones in Obi-Wan, I would assume. Darkfire? No, that's not it. Damn it. This is terrible of me. I need to be able to remember these companies. I played some Darktide. Speaking of Dark Apostle and 40K. What is this music bed? Dark Apostle might just be a printer? It's not Skullforge. It's not Skullforge.
Oh, there was definitely packaging on the little baggie, but it was like a cardboard thing that went on top of the baggie. So in order to open it, you had to take it off. So I've since then lost it. It could be a printer. Someone just said that Dark Apostle might be a service that prints other people's STLs. Black Remnant does not sound familiar at all. How is Darktide? It's the exact same game pretty much as Vermintide 2. So if you've played that game, it will play very similarly and feel the same. At least to me it did. Obviously there's more shooting in Darktide and I got to experience that, but as far as like the satisfaction you get from the gameplay loop and like what you're doing and like all that stuff, it's the same as Vermintide. Which to me, it's all right. It's all right. It's not amazing. It's the Starcore General from Darkfire. That's Darkfire Designs? Okay, so it was that company that I'm talking about. Well, then what the fuck? Okay, my buddy is lying to me then. This model is amazingly scaled for Legion. At least it seems that way. I have no Legion models on me. But that's definitely heroic scale. Minis with Moogie. Thank you, sir. Felt like Vermintide and Darktide always missed the versus mode from Left 4 Dead. Being able to play as monsters was great. That might, I don't know, I don't know what it is. It's hard for me to say. I find myself more excited about getting gear than I do like anything else in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more looking forward to getting through the whole dungeon so I can see what I'm going to get from doing the dungeon as opposed to enjoying playing the dungeon. That feels wrong. I feel like I shouldn't think that way. But that's how it works when I play that game. And so something about the gameplay, it's not capturing my imagination or my interest. Played the finals yet? Nope, have not. He did the cool stuff based on Bad Batch. I'm not entirely sure about that. I do remember finding Darkfire Designs and loving all of the Empire stuff. It was amazing. Okay, now we're gonna paint the ropes. The ropes are painted in a ochre color. You can see here on the staff. It's like an ochre with an off-white highlight. And so we'll look for a color that's kind of a brighter ochre. And then we will wash it down just to make it a little bit easier on ourselves. And it looks like desert yellow right here is perfect. Scott, what difficulty do you play at? I'm assuming you're referring to Darktide. I just started playing it. I'm like level 11, so I'm like, I don't know. There's like ticks to describe how difficult each dungeon is. And the most difficult one that I've tried is a three tick one that has a high intensity. But yeah, I've played it a lot. It's all right. Free Zombie Troop Leader. Is that the one that I just showed you? That's the name of it? Rufus, how are you able to share links in the chat? Not that I mind. Did like someone give you the ability to do that for like a certain amount of time? I'm just curious because I want to know how Twitch works. Gotcha, okay. So the diamond means VIP? Cool, cool. I'm gonna paint this kind of a brighter ochre color and then we'll wash it. Did I already say that? I might have already said that.
don't have a diamond, but I have a dinosaur.
Okay, got yeah. Liking the chill vibes today? Awesome. I feel like I'm talking a lot. Yeah, I always talk a lot.
Chat, am I really about to drop, am I really ready to drop 80 on bits? 80? 80 what?
Oh, you know what? Fucking, goddamn it. You know what? I missed the black straps on their arms. Ugh. So annoying. I'm really trying to paint the rope with thin paint here, because like this is the kind of detail that if you paint poorly, like if you base coat poorly specifically, you can really just nuke a lot of the fine detail on like this rope. $80. No. You're subconsciously trying to fill the dead air because you're a professional. I don't got any headphones on, so I can't hear any music. I'm just kind of sitting in a dark room by myself. Yeah, that's definitely why I haven't. Ooh, endgame base coating, man. It's tricky. Nature abhors a vacuum.
You could set up text to talk bits options so you could have stuff to talk to.
Yeah, we did that. We didn't do a bits option. We kind of just like had it enabled. Maybe it was for bits. I don't know what it was, but it was pretty. It's pretty heinous.
Nice.
We got Rufus Kit picking up the dad jokes slack in chat right now.
A Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Did this just happen during this stream? I feel like that would have been all over my Facebook feed if that happened while I was working at the computer. I guess that kind of makes sense, right? 3 hours ago? Okay, so pretty much right. A little bit before I started streaming. Groovy Ronin. Thank you for the kind words, my friend. Don't be a stranger. Chat, how am I doing in terms of not covering the camera, you guys seeing all the painting? Am I doing pretty good with that or no? I haven't seen anyone complain about my sexy ears, but that does not mean that that does not mean that I'm doing a good job. Pretty damn good. Fuck yeah, dude. Good here, no complaints? Oh, love it. Love to hear it. With Necromunda having its own category, Golden Demon, you should really consider ending this as a unit. You know, there's an opportunity right there. I'm not painting it good enough, you know? I entered, here's a cynic in me, John. I entered that unit from Cursed City, and that was painted like as good as I'm painting right now, and that didn't go anywhere. I mean, I could do it just for the sake of it, but I don't know. That's an interesting idea, though. I could definitely do that. No ear cam today. Any plans on painting some old world minis? Yeah, dude, if we, if there's some new, okay, I will paint pretty much any new Wood Elf model that comes out. If it's not trash, I'll paint it. Like Lady of the Lake model, like the, whatever she is for the Bretonnians, that model is sick. That one looks awesome. I would love to paint that model. So seriously, Scott, do you think you can't elevate this because you've fundamentally not started it well enough? Oh no, God no. I could definitely improve this paint job. Even it doesn't matter at this point where I've started it. It's a good enough starting point to crispen up. I guess I just don't know if that's something I want to do. You know, it takes a long time. I don't know, like I was painting that Drazar mini, and I went through each part, you know, one after the other. I finished his leg to what I consider to be Golden Demon standard, and then I finished his other part to Golden Demon standard, and it's very labor intensive. You know, it takes a long time. But I suppose there's no painting requirements for this Necromunda campaign, so I could do that. Like, I don't have to have it like done by a certain point. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, the Skaven not being an old world is bizarre, dude. I think you do them all this level and you got to pin at bare minimum. Then if you have time, put some hours in, complete for GG. Ahsoka's got a second season. Skaven not being there makes me dislike the old world even more. It's actually bizarre that they're not in the old world. I mean, I guess every faction has is important in fantasy, but like Skaven and the Empire, those ones, I mean, also Vampire counts. Those just seem so important. Like they're to like the narrative and stuff. But I guess, you know, just because they're not there now doesn't mean they're not going to come back or they're not going to, you know, show up again later, you know? But it is weird. You know, Tomb Kings and Bretonnia actually are races that obviously, while they are important in the lore of fantasy, they weren't huge game players toward the end of the game. As an Ogre Kingdoms and Lizardman player, my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Key and B, I might do a Wood Elf. I mean, I think I want to just play the game in general with my Wood Elves. That was the plan. The plan was to paint them. To have the vampires be for AOS and to have the Wood Elves be for the Old World. That was the plan. This is just GW dipping their toes in to see how it can capitalize off the Total War Warhammer series. You know, I don't want to be that guy, but it's hard to know like how much work went into it, but it really does feel like, man, for being 3 years in the works, I don't know. It doesn't seem like a whole lot changed or a whole lot happened really. Maybe I'm being an asshole though, so I don't really know. Maybe I'm just being another person that's complaining about GW stuff, which like I really don't want to be that person because then everyone just like gives me shit for getting kicked out of Warhammer World. I'm really trying to like think about it objectively as much as I possibly can. Hell yeah, dude. I even like have my whole scheme for my Wood Elf army figured out. It's based on one of the schemes in like one of the OG army books. What are they called now? What are the army books called now? They have like a cool new fun name. So no reconciliation? Nah, dude. Definitely not. I mean, even if there was reconciliation, there would still be endless people who would be like, you're that guy. 100%. 100%. Yo, you need help? Yo, just ask for help. Oh, Mystical Archive? It wasn't Battletome, it was something else. Yeah, the door just opened really fast. Let me just message Amber real quick. Steven Seagal finally found Scott. You see the new announcement from Mantic? I have not seen the Mantic announcement. Filoni is getting his wrap-up film for the New Republic era shows. That's kind of cool. Will you share your thoughts on the Army Painter Fanatic paint? Yes, that is the purpose of what I'm doing right now, which is painting this model in mostly Army Painter paints. We started out painting the model like I painted the last one, but everything else now, after that point, has been Army Painter. So hopefully by the end of it, I'll have some more concrete thoughts. So far, everything is pretty good, working out pretty well. The one exception being, I have now painted with the skin tones on a couple of different models, and they're a little funky. But yeah, for the most part, they're working out. They're working out well. I would say Rufus get the last paint range that I really used a lot that I was sent was AK Interactive. The washes are amazing. I love the washes. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Thanks. I appreciate any kind of subs. Hyper Druid, thank you so much. All right, and in fact, let's use some washes right now. How do you like the color selection for the whole range and the flexible triad? I've never really like explicitly tried to take advantage of like a triad system, so I can't speak much to that. How do you like the color selection? So far, I've like been able to find a color for everything that I need, with the exception of a dark brown red. But that's very possibly because I just can't find it on my desk. I'm looking at the back of the box right now, and potentially basilisk red or fur brown would do me solid. Mold berry is not good enough. That ain't cutting the cheese. I'm just scanning my desk right now for some other paints, and I'm not seeing these two. Yeah, I would love a dark, like a rich red, dark brown, and that it might be somewhere out here. Other creators have said the wash change. I mean, it might have. I mean, both can be true, right? It can change, and it can also be good. Okay, let's try it right now. So they have 3 or 4 standard washes in this set. One of them being Strong Tone, which is the dark or the decent brown one. There's Soft Tone, which is sepia. There's Skin Strong Tone, which is brown red. And then there's obviously black, which I don't know, has its own name. I want to use Soft Tone, which is sepia, but I feel like that won't really show up very nicely on this rope. And I want to demonstrate how well it works. So I'm kind of wanting to use Strong Tone, but considering I'm going to continue to highlight this at least one time, if I use Strong Tone, it'll be too dark and it'll look weird. So I'm going to use Soft Tone. When do you want to play our game? Tonight? Thursday? Thursday. Let's do Thursday. I don't know. Good news is mahogany exists. You know, the problem with mahogany is that it has no coverage. I don't know if you've experienced that, Mike Genie, but mahogany paint that I was painting with, while it is a beautiful color, beautiful rich red brown color, it just has no coverage. It's ass. All right, let's check the sepia wash out. I don't think I've actually used it yet. Start with a bit too much, probably. Yeah, that's pretty mild. Rope texture is pretty hard to capture for a wash. It's so fine. I don't mind if I get some of this brownish, yellowish wash on the weaponry, as the metal is pretty gunked up looking already. Maybe I'll even like try to add some. Okay, looking all right, looking all right.
Okay, well, it tastes different, so definitely has something different in it. What a weird thing to say. What's the selling point? No, Army Painter's contrast paint equivalent is speed paint. But this is called Fanatic, and it is like their paint that is supposed to actually be good. I know that they get a lot of criticism for their normal paint range, and I don't really. I mean, like, I've never used it, so I can't really say if it's trash or not. But this stuff is definitely usable. Okay, what is next? More black base coating. So apparently I also missed some straps over here. More pale asses. Uncle Adam seems like the fanatic. Seems to like the fanatic and the airline. Yeah. It definitely works. This is the kind of thing that if you were painting a Golden Demon model, you'd have to care about. There's so much straps back here, and also like there's a hand right there, and there's a bunch of overspray from when I did some painting with the this part of the model, and I just painted it all black because fuck it, no one's ever gonna look at that for gaming models, and that's the kind of thing that you would need to fucking like get in there and really paint nicely, because that separates the winners from the losers right there. People willing to put in the time to fix that kind of stuff. Green Mountain, I've played Necromunda one time, and it was actually a pretty cool little campaign that one of my friends set up, where it was like Mad Maxian, and we had to like extract some resources from a moving rig, and like all of the Necromunda warbands were competing against one another to get the goods, but also kind of working together because we were all attacking the same rig. So the whole point of the game was to learn how to play Necromunda. So that was kind of a fun way to start. This model is a heavy crossbow Cawdor ganger. I don't know what his actual gameplay name is. Can't remember. Be interesting to meeting with the guys and ask, excuse me, you said you didn't change anything, but I tasted it and you lied. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be funny. Be like, hey, I did a taste check and you're a fucking liar. Arm straps. This is not a Blood Bowl mini, this is a Necromunda mini. From House Cawdor, the House of Faith. Got my little zealot trash men. They love candles. I'm kind of curious what scent they got rocking on those candles on top of their domes. What are they feeling? House of Trash, baby! House of Garbage Men! It's interesting, you know, that arm didn't look super amazing, but then once you paint in those black straps, it looks fine, you know? It doesn't need to be amazing. The scent of purging! You need a garbage bag on their bases. That'd be awesome. Hey, Scooter. No one calls me Scooter other than my mom. How do you go about painting a Frazetta-ish skin tone? You need greens and you need pale. But honestly, if I were to legitimately do it, I would probably go pick up a Frazetta art book that like kind of talked about the art a little bit to kind of figure out what palette he's using. But it's definitely very clearly has greens in it, very pale. Elbows, nose, cheeks are all very red. That's that kind of vibe. Green Mountain, what do I think about Old World? The brush that I happened to pick up that was right next to me is a size 2, laughable size 2 at that. Da Vinci Harbin Kalinsky 1526Y. So Da Vinci has several series of brushes, and they have different mixtures and different kinds of bristles, and the 1256Y is a cheaper sable hair brush. Or I don't even know if it's sable, but it's a cheaper natural hair brush. I still like the oh god, I can't remember the name of it. The Da Vinci Maestro series number. What is it? Is there no number? Oh, 30, oh fuck, what is it? Series 30. What do I think about the Old World? Yeah, I said it before, but I can say it again. I don't know, pretty disappointing that the 2 new boxes are like 90% old models. I was really looking forward to seeing GW's take on what is effectively the old, the Horus Heresy of Age of Sigmar, you know? But they got time, you know? They can keep putting money into the range. They dip their toes into it, clearly very experimental. They want to see if it's going to succeed before they invest more money in sculptors' talents, trying to make other fantasy minis. So I don't know. We'll wait and see. But right now, little disappointed in the amount of miniatures on release. That's all for now. Waiting and watching. Well, if Evan was here, professional paint licker, he would 100% say Lobot. Got some highlights on that strap there in the left arm. You know the answer is Lobot. What is your favorite non-gaming mini that I've painted, that I haven't painted, just in general? Series 10, thank you. Series 10. Wait, no, isn't it Series 30? I can't remember what it is. But you're right, yes. The ones that I normally use have silver ferrules. Just in general. Dude, I have no fucking clue. That is an impossible question to answer. There are so many non-gaming minis that are awesome. Ooh, and Swaganit and Swang Thief 9 just got fucking banned. See you later. I don't even know why you got banned, but I love it. Oh, a spam bot. Now I'm trying to think what my favorite miniature, non-gaming miniature is. It's a hard question to answer. I guess the thing about, it's like a lot easier for me to like answer that question for movies for some reason. And I'm trying to think about what the difference between saying my favorite movie for 2023 versus my favorite model, you know? And I feel like the difference for me is that like, it's like all the ones that I'm willing to paint are like tied for first place, you know? Like they're all, like if you pass the threshold of like, I'm interested in painting this model, then they're all kind of equal. That isn't 100% true, but it kind of feels that way. I don't know. It's hard to say. Hard to say. The Duchess. No, not the Duchess for sure. The Duchess has problems that need to get fixed. All right, let's do a little bit of highlight here on these ropes that we just painted recently with some of this ochre and a little bit of off-white, or just white, that's fine too, mixed in. How do you like the Shatter Poing mini size? I like it, it's good. It could have been 32 mil war scale and I would also play it and love it, but I'm fine with the slightly bigger models. Obviously, it's weird. Like, it's a anti-consumer practice is what they're doing. Making the scale a different size than their pre-existing Star Wars miniature war game. Like that is 100% anti-consumer. But I was never invested in that game, so it doesn't bother me that much, but I can absolutely see how it would bother somebody else. Obviously I gotta paint the candles still. I'm looking for an off-white color or a white. There was a white over here. I was gonna grab it. Oy. To be fair, they were working on Shatterpoint before they inherited Legion. I also need to learn Shatterpoint. I could definitely teach you that, but you already have 10 games that you're doing, right? You don't need to learn Shatterpoint too, right? To be fair, they were working on Shatterpoint before they inherited Legion. Yeah, sure. But there's a good chance they were aware of that inheritance while working on it. And also they knew of Legion anyways, and no game is in Shatterpoint scale. Like, as far as I'm aware, that is a wholly new thing. And that's just not playing nice, you know? Like, they obviously identified that a lot of the STL market is in 32 mil, that Legion exists, and they want people to buy their stuff, you know? To me, a little bit anti-consumer. But again, I didn't mind, because I didn't have a prior investment. 40 mil, what is that? MCP is the same scale, which was their flagship game. See, the weird thing is that, and maybe I'm wrong about this, you guys let me know, I never heard someone refer to MCP as a 40 mil scale game. The first time I heard that phrase was Shatterpoint. And I haven't put the two games next to each other, so I don't really know if they're the same. Are they the same? Someone is saying MCP is slightly smaller. Am I just confused? Did they advertise MCP as a 40 mil game? Or am I misremembering this? Someone commented on one of my VODs a couple weeks ago, and they're like, "Do you get off on saying objectively incorrect things?" So now I'm like I'm trying to make sure I don't say anything, like, for sure. They say 1/48 scale. I don't know what that means. AMG has never advertised the millimeter scale of MCP. Gygax's chainmail. Oh my God! Like the before we had D&D, we had chainmail, the miniature war game. For D&D, I believe. My LGS has a copy of that ancient rule book in its like special cases. It looks fucking gnarly. You know what scale as well? STL models. That is not true. That is not true. It's not true because what doesn't scale, the problem is that you have a ratio, right? So every model you have has a ratio of the size of its its hands to its heads to the length of its legs, length of its torso, size of its feet. That's all a complicated math ratio that's designed to work at a certain scale. And sometimes when you scale things up, it becomes obvious that the ratio is incorrect. But other times you can get away with it, right? You can get away with resizing stuff. It doesn't like you know, it works sometimes. I'm not saying it doesn't work all the time. But you will run into problems like that very often with the ratio of body part sizes being off. I just checked Captain America against Ahsoka, and they are the same. I think 40 millimeter is super old metal Napoleonics. Okay. Sculptors don't know math. Yeah, I would say you're probably right about that. TikTok is that probably not a huge deal going from 32 mil to 40 mil, but might be. Checks out, Chris Evans is only 3 inches taller than Rosario Dawson. Necromunda. Agrox Craig. Taj Tajima, thanks for the sub, appreciate it. Hell yeah. All right, I'm not gonna talk or breathe for a bit. Oh, first of all, I have to get this paint to work for me. I've been staring at my cursed city for months now. I'm actually getting pretty close to, am I getting pretty close? I don't think I'm getting pretty close. I feel like I'm getting pretty close to finish my cursed city, but I think realistically I'm like halfway done. This is not my first mini for the warband. This one is. What up, Westmoo? Half price, cursed city? Fuck yeah, dude. That's a little sad. I'm actually struggling to see right now. When I wear contacts, my vision gets a little fuzzy. Okay. Got a nice little highlight on the top half of that string. Looks pretty good. Half of brush control is just, obviously it's a nice sharp brush, but also it's getting the paint to behave in the way you want it to behave. Like you need it to flow off your brush at the right speed and not fight you, or else it's going to be impossible. There's a name for that. It's called You're Old Now. Pack it in, old man. God damn. God damn. Fucking savage, bro. How could you? Oh, man. Time for sexy gogs, yeah. Yeah, that would definitely help with what I'm doing right now, but I'm like resisting. I'm resisting using sexy gogs. I don't want to have to relearn how to look at models. I don't have to relearn. I'm exaggerating here. Not like it's gonna take me 10 years to figure out how to paint with sexy gogs, but it feels like it would. And then this stuff we don't need to be super careful about. I can just kind of like stab at it. And that is good enough. Okay, I got some rope highlights. Now, gotta get some highlights on the one around his neck. Sky, you're not old till you can't stand without making a noise. Using magnification can actually take strain off your eyes. All right, we're doing it. Chat's calling me old. Chat's saying it's sexy gogs time. You bastards. It's time. You wouldn't happen to live in Las Vegas. No, I do not live in Las Vegas. Oh. Looking for someone to paint my Wonderland Wars minis. Yeah, no. What was the last time I painted a Lord of the Rings model, bro? When I was 13. 13 or 14, probably. Just use the sexy gogs. You already got a wife. Who you trying to show off for? I'm trying to show off for you guys, you know? Trying to be sexy. You'll actually realize you are old when you get up from the table after Christmas dinner and hyperextend your knee. I mean, not that I would know. Spaz, you got something to admit? Yeah, it's been a minute. Sure, Darthbot. It's been 18 years. You will always be sexy in our eyes. Okay. Yeah, Amber's definitely a teaser. Okay. Oh God, this feels wrong. I hate this. Oh, you know what? Am I on the camera? Okay. Stay there, Scott. Stay there as he moves. Oh my God, bro. I need to move, like peripheral vision does not exist with this thing on. Also, it's like shading my light. Try a little bit of ochre color right there in the recess. I gotta look up like a fucking idiot. Here's the other problem, I can't see chat. He's more machine than man now. The machine spirit. Fucking A, dude. Fucking A. My peripheral vision, bro. I need to stare at everything intently that I have any interest in painting. I can mount a camera to this thing, dude. I bet those are how you charmed your missus. 100% goggle related. Fancy dinners, candles, goggles. 100%. That's how it worked. You guys want to know how to get girls? This is it right here. Have I tried a magnifying lens like lamp thing? Yeah, I've tried it once. Honestly, I haven't given diopters the time of day to really figure out if like I like using them or if they would improve my painting. I've kind of just been like, you know what? It's working right now. I don't need to change anything. Oh, this is tough. Oh, I'm painting worse. Power through, Scott! You guys see what I'm doing? Fuck. This is hard. feel like I'm painting worse. God, I'm shaking. Why am I shaking? I never shake. That's not true. I shake all the time. I don't think the goggles are making me paint worse. I think I'm just like not holding the model as well.
Wow, that really makes it weird to look at afterwards. Anyways, Smooshed You, thank you for the sub, appreciate it. Taking my magnified goggles to the next date night, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. How are my eyes feeling? I don't know if my eyes really ever feel bad necessarily. So they feel okay. I'm doing all right. Okay. I accidentally aced the bottom of these black straps with some of that highlight color. Fix that right up. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's not supposed to be perfect. Okay, let's make these candles. Call it a date. Sorry, camera. All right. I mean, do I keep using the gogs? You shake like a dog shitting apples? Wow. Okay, I want to paint the candles in a greenish white, just because I got some green things going on in my Cawdor scheme, and I got a nice little autumn sage color here from War Paints, Army Painter Fanatic. We'll base coat in that. Okay, yeah, you know. All right, here we're gonna give it a more of a fighting chance here. I'm gonna clean the lenses because they're a little nasty. See a Lummox Beast. You only use yours on super fine details. All right, and then I take that as a permission to not use them while base coating these candles. This is the last part on the model to paint other than the base. Got a lot of drippy wax. I love it. Looks good. It'll look good when it's not one uniform color too. Scott, you turn off your goggles. Which I don't paint because fuck eyes. You eye haters, someday you'll come around. You'll come around and you'll be like, oh my God, painting the eyes elevates my paint job like I have never even seen before. Have I tried the Rogue Trader video game? I have not. Is it good? You like it? What do you do in it? Is it an FPS? Is it an extraction shooter? Is it a battle royale? Perhaps? Nobody ever sees eyes on a gaming table. Liar! I see them all the time. That's the lie you tell yourself so you can feel better about being on team #fuckeyes. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me, Rufus. Have you ever sat down and stared across the field and been like, can I see these eyeballs? It's the 40K version of Baldur's Gate 3. Might be overselling it a bit. Yeah. But no, I get what you're saying. It is a turn-based CRPG. That might be redundant. What is the C in CRPG stand for? Character?
Computer. Okay. So it's like a the term RPG is used so liberally in the video game space. So I guess the CRPG is like, no, this is an actual RPG. Cool, of course. Good. Krisha, thanks for the sub. Okay, I'm just gonna mix a little bit of white in this candle, and by a little bit, I mean a decent amount. I don't want to do like 17 different highlights for this small little detail. I think with smaller details, you can jump up and highlight way faster than with a larger detail. All right. Fuck. God damn it. A nice black line in between the candle wax. Okay, it's back. No. No. I don't know if I told you about this, but I, over the holiday season, played an RPG about the Minnesota State Fair. And it was based on an RPG system called the Trophy Dark system, which is a play-to-lose RPG where everyone in the party pretty much loses. But the joy is the fun you have along the way. And so it was, the basic premise was that everyone was trying to steal a butter sculpture. I feel like I've already explained this. Maybe I don't need to explain it again. But it was fun. It was the first time I ever DM'd, and I was clearly bad at it. But it was still a lot of fun. You have definitely not heard this before? Okay, let me explain it a little bit. Is it like Fiasco? I'm not well versed in RPGs, so I don't know. This isn't Butter Princess. No, this is Butter Princess. So the State Fair is a huge thing in Minnesota. And one activity they do at the State Fair is they carve the entries or the contestants for like essentially like Miss State Fair. You know, you have like Mrs. America, Mrs. Florida, Mrs. Minnesota. This is Mrs. State Fair. And the game is a heist to try to steal the person who becomes Mrs. State Fair, that butter sculpture. It's ridiculous. A friend of yours made that. Very cool. For shame. He's a teacher at Blake. Cool. Have I seen the movie Butter? For some reason, that name is like really familiar to me, but I don't think I have. Genre-wise, Trophy Dark is a story game. Yeah. It definitely felt that way. I kind of feel like most RPGs want to be a story game. Am I wrong about that? Kind of feels like that's the point of the genre. But I could be wrong. Again, not super well versed in those kind of games. All right, we'll do just a wee bit of bright white highlights, or close to bright white. God damn it. I don't know. It's fun. These models are fun. I think candles on your hat are going to be so hot in 2024. It's a whole subgenre. Usually focus on story versus stats and min-maxing and all that jazz. You get paid for doing this? In a way, I get paid for making miniature education entertainment. And Twitch is an offshoot of that. I don't really stream for a living. I make YouTube videos for a living, but I stream for fun. Okay, I painted the wicks of the candle in a sexy hot pink, and so we're gonna do that. All right, but first, we gotta paint the wick in a bright white because fluo paint, it's so trash. It's so trash, guys. You wouldn't even know. You think you know what trash paint is, dude? Paint with a fluo paint and then come back to me. It's so bad. Its coverage is so bad. But boy howdy is the saturation unparalleled. Rob Corddry, Olivia Wilde, Jennifer Garner. Came out in 2011. You know, I definitely haven't seen that movie, no. Butter. I'm using a lot of white paint just because it's more opaque. All right, I'm gonna hit this with a hairdryer, and then we're gonna frickin' blast this thing with hot pink. By blast, I mean apply very carefully. One second, I'm gonna mute myself. Didn't forget. I keep the model closer to my loins. Okay, I got a lot of hot pink paint, chap. None of it's from Army Painter though. That's okay. We can deviate this one time. I'm gonna use a non-hobby brand just because I have a sneaking suspicion that they're all pretty much the same. So we're gonna use Golden Fluo. Oh, sorry, I don't need this anymore. We're gonna use Golden, the High Flow Acrylic range. They're pink fluo paint.
got these paints for Christmas. The high flow acrylics or the thicker paint? Employee owned. Golden is an employee owned company? I don't know. I don't really know what that means. I assume it means that the employees can buy stock options and stuff like that, but or that it isn't a publicly traded company. Is that what employee owned means? You stole a painting handle, you bitch. You're not using Iron Painter Hot Pink? How do I unsubscribe? Is there a Hot Pink from Iron Painter? I'm sure there is. They have a bazillion paints. All right, I won't lick the brush. Employer ownership is a term for any arrangement in which a company's employees own shares in their company or the right to the value of shares in their company. So what if the owner or the owners own all of the shares? Does that also count as employee owned, or is that just like privately owned? Oh God, well at least Zenkiki, at least Dirty Paint Water doesn't really have that much coverage. It doesn't really like ruin your paint jobs. That would be privately owned. Okay, cool, thank you. Appreciate the explanation, guys. Darn, you know how to shake, been practicing? Hey man, you're the one asking. You're imagining. I feel like I recently looked at the model and I saw a part that I was like, that's not painted. Yeah, there's some like straps that didn't get fully covered by black paint. Okay. Look at that. That was awesome painting you guys just saw, right? Which is technically employee owned as well, but employee owned is more specific. Got you, okay. The water caused my paints to bleed off the models as they, oh. That is truly disaster. I'm sorry that happened to you, bro. That sucks. All right. Let's just see. I'm just gonna put a huge glob of paint on these wicks, so it should have not terrible coverage actually. Whee! Bright pink, so bright. Oh my God, look at it. It still isn't like fully covering. You definitely can't tell if you're watching the stream just because of the level of fidelity that Twitch can capture after it encodes all its bullshit, but I mean, it looks fine. It looks fucking awesome right now. Shit, I just licked my brush. Just do a little baby amount of OSL, you know? You don't gotta go crazy with it. Just a little bit on the candle wax. Okay. That looks so much less impressive in the camera than it does in real life. It's called Power Node Glow. Nice. Nice work, man. Have no patience for this anymore.
Thank you. Appreciate it. The trick is just to enjoy the process. If the painting is fun, then it's not something you have to tolerate. It's just something that's fun. But it's definitely not for everyone. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of white to the top of the wick. And I'm gonna paint over it again with pink.
Dude, it's looking incredible.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, truly.
3 kids, crazy dog, and even crazier wife.
All right, now that I got a little white dot on there, now I'll just kind of paint over it a little bit with some thin down white paint.
Like a little bright spot right on top.
Okay, the only problem with this paint job is that unlike the other dude who had more opportunities to use pink elsewhere, this guy, I don't have more opportunities. I could paint the very tip of the rocket in pink, but I want a third spot to use the pink. So I'm trying to brainstorm right now to figure out what would be the third spot where I could use the pink. Maybe like a stripe somewhere on some fabric. While I think about that, I'm gonna grab some silver paint. That's why I'm gonna have to paint the base. And what else? Also, he's got like a little neck thing right below, and I wanna cover that up.
But aren't the candle flames darkest at the tip? Yes, they are. What should I make sure to go to for Adepticon? You know, there aren't really like, I don't know, there's nothing like that at Adepticon where it's like, oh, you have to go to this keynote speech and stuff like that. I can't think of, okay, you have to, if Meat Grinder is going on Saturday night in the upstairs area, you have to just go watch it for a little bit because that's fucking crazy. Candles on the base, not a bad idea.
I want to just add a little bit of silver right here.
That whole neck area was just kind of seeming a little unpainted. Toss a little bit of paint down there. Gives it a more finished look. Okay, there he is, y'all. There's the Cawdor guy all painted up, just not the base. I don't know, I guess I should probably paint the skull, but I'll do the silver first. What's Meat Grinder? Oh yeah, going to the Bits Bazaar is always good too.
Oh, he's got little, there's like little buttons on the Necromunda base. I'll paint those pink. Then I don't have to go find a candle. Okay. Now my other, you know what? I don't even think that I painted the base silver. Actually, come to think of it, I'm looking at this base. I should have looked at it before I did this. I think I painted it brown and then did like a bunch of like washes with pigment, and then I just like hit the corners with silver, and that was it. We'll try this though. Actually, I think the base should probably look the same. Okay, just kidding. Yeah, I've flown with GW paints. TSA didn't give a shit about them. I don't know why they didn't give a shit about them, but they didn't. Okay. Where is that black wash? Here's this one. That's the brown red one. I know I got the black wash out already, because I've definitely used it before. Man, I gotta clean up my desk. All right, here it is, dark tone. Dark tone. Okay. That will dry at some point, and then I will probably hit it with several more washes and then a water pigment wash. I could also put like I could paint in the eye sockets of this skull with pink. That'd be kind of fun. I'll just do a base coat for this stuff. because I'm gonna like hit the whole base with like a bunch of pigment washes and stuff like that, and I'll get a bunch of crud in it anyway. So we'll just start with a base coat. Okay, this is gonna take a while to dry. Even after blasting it with a hair dryer, like all the metal paint wasn't totally dry. There was a little bit of silver flecks in my wash, not a ton, just a little bit. So we'll just call it for now, because it's 4:15, right about when we end. Jim Crimmins, thank you for the paint. Thank you for the subscription. 10 months. 10 months. Oh, mini painting goodness. Glitched Mythos. Thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. But yeah, here's my dude. We'll be done with him. You guys won't see him again. I'll finish him off stream, and then we can look at it again later on. But yeah, I think they look good together, even though I used slightly different paint for the rest of the model. The most important paints, the green and the khaki, were all the same. So it looked pretty good. So yeah, we'll be done today. And then I'll be live again a week from now, same time, same place, twitch.tv/Miniac, 1 p.m. CST to approximately 4 p.m. CST, normally a little bit later. Thank you, Mike Genie. I'm excited to have 2 of my Cawdor guys all painted up before my campaign even starts. Now, I have to figure out what my actual list is going to be and then go and do that, but I'll figure out. That's a problem for future Scott. Scott, is it worth buying the complete 216 set? I have no idea what that is. What's a 216 set? You're welcome, Placebo Cyanide. See you later, Latino. Wide camera, sure. Thanks for sharing, dude. You're very welcome, Paint Hand Dan. My pleasure. Oh no, I'm hitting the face button and it isn't working. I think they mean the Fanatic War Paints complete. Oh, okay, I got you. Sure, yeah. I kind of think that it is rarely ever worth it to buy a whole paint set. You know, it's hard to say. You know, it's hard to put myself in the position of a mini painter who would actually benefit from buying an entire set of paint, entire range of paint. I just can't imagine that person. You know, it's like either you're a beginner and you don't want to invest that kind of money, or you're past the beginner stage and you have a small collection of paint and you want to paint other stuff. I feel like the only kind of justifiable paint set that I would ever buy personally is like a starter paint set that has like between 10 and 20 paints in it, and then from there, I don't know though. Everyone can decide differently for themselves though. That's just what I would do. It's hard to tell someone to spend exactly $800. It costs $800. Jesus Christ. So there you go. You have another half of the story. OSW Zenkiki says, I regret not buying the whole scale set. I ended up buying the whole thing in pieces and spending more doing so. I mean, I did buy the whole scale set, and I definitely don't use all the paints. I regularly use a quarter of the whole range, and I kind of use half of the whole range. So it just depends. You know, it depends on the kind of painter you are. Yeah, the Chimera set, that makes sense to buy all of it because it's so small. But yeah, all right. You guys, you're catching me. I'm going to head out. Thanks for hanging out, chatting, talking about the hobby, talking about your resolutions, talking about all kinds of fun stuff. I will see you in a week from now, same time, same place. All right, let me figure out if I know how to turn the stream off. Maybe this button? Oh wait, that was a folder. End show, here we go. Bye.